Dear students, welcome and thank you for tuning in to this video. We are continuing our discussion about cells interaction with biomaterials. This is lecture number 2 of the cells interaction with biomaterials lecture, which is part of the Biomaterials 1 class. In this video, we're going to talk about barriers. Let's not underestimate the skin and other barrier tissues in protecting our bodies and in the reaction to biomaterials, and how this is very, very important when we implant materials inside the human body or any living organism. If you remember, we talked about 3 types of systems that build up our immune system, the big picture of our immune systems. So we talked about barriers, immune system cells, and circulating immune proteins. A lot of people are focusing on the immune system cells, T cells, B cells, macrophages, and the circulating immune proteins. But few are paying attention to the barriers, which is actually something that is changing over time. So barriers are very important. So we don't want to underestimate skin when we talk about biomaterials and implantable materials inside the body. So the importance of skin becomes obvious in burns, cuts, and some skin disorders, which make people dramatically more susceptible to infections. So if you have a cut or burn or any problem with the skin, you are susceptible to infections, and this is a big problem for anyone. And I want to draw your attention to something. If we are implanting something in the human body, or implanting material inside the human body, we have to breach this defense line. So we need to make a cut. Most of our materials, in order to be implanted inside the body, we have to do invasive surgeries in order to get the materials inside the body, like total hip and joint replacement, plates and screws, and all the other things. So about the skin. So 20 years ago, burns covered half of the body were lethal. So anyone who has burns, it's just lethal. They can't survive it. But nowadays we have a lot of technologies, and we have improved our interventions so that even someone with 90% of their body burned, they can survive. They have a good chance of surviving. And there are a lot of good reasons why that's possible. And so the practices have been contributed to this improvement, included resuscitations, wound cleaning, follow-up care, nutritional support, and infection control. We did a lot of good work so far in protecting the body in case of damage of the barriers. Also, we have a big field of research, and there's huge market and improvement for biomedical engineers and medicine into grafting and creating tissue engineered grafts for skin disorders and burns. So grafting with natural or artificial materials can also speed up the healing process, because we can use we can do we can do grafting with passive materials or active materials. And the difference is that we have cells in the active materials that can speed up our healing process and recovery, especially if they're seeded with endothelial cells that can create the skin layer that we want it to be there. So again, skin is very important, and we're going to talk more and more about how the skin is playing a crucial role in the immune response, which is actually a determinant of the success of our material inside the body. So this is a schematic of the skin, different skin layers and components, and there's a lot of things happening inside here that can affect, in case of cuts or damage, that can affect and stimulate our immune response, and we will talk more about them in the coming videos. So biocompatibility, just a reminder, refers to the suitability of a material inside the body, and the suitability is indicated by the reaction of the body. And the reaction of the body, actually, it's the immune response. And skin and barriers plays a big role in building up our immune response for any invading microbes or any implanted material. Keep this in mind, that a surgical implant procedure breaches all the body epithelial defenses, which are the skin and the barriers. And we need to pay attention to this, because once we did that, our body will react and the immune response will start. So we need to understand what will happen when we do this. What are the steps and the cascades, and what's the reaction are going to be, and who are the players in that reaction, from a cellular point of view in order to understand how to mitigate when we implant a biomaterial inside the living organism. Thank you for watching, and till the next video. Bye.